everyone, and welcome back to Chapter 1 and Beyond. I'm Christina, and I am tackling through my towering TBR list. Definitely feeling like I'm making progress, but today's episode is episode 4. This is what I feel is a TBR check-in episode. I figured since we're in June, we might as well check in for how I'm doing with my overall goal for the year, and then how I'm tackling my physical TPR. So let's get into it. So, okay. So, you know that cardinal rule that I had mentioned in the very first episode, and how I said I was on this book buying ban, and how I pretty much lied to everybody. um, yeah, it happened. I did purchase more books, and it's for good reasons, because several of the purchases were free books, because I go on thrift books, and I go on platforms like Book Outlet, and I even visit free little libraries in the area, and I just couldn't pass up some of the picks that I got. And believe it or not, it is more fantasy books. Shocker, I guess. So um but yeah, as of episode 1, I had 254 unread physical books. After counting everything, including the new books that I have now 256 books on my physical TBR shelf. So right now I'm in the negative. So it's okay. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get through it, and I'm not worried at this point. But I really need to stop going on Book Outlet and thrift books and getting enticed by this stuff, because I know there's new anticipated releases coming out, like Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I was really excited about that one. I found out actually I can get audiobook through Libby. Honestly, with how much I have to read here physically at home, um, you know, I'm not really worried about that wait time. So, but yeah, let's dive into the books that I've finished already. So, as of today, it looks like I have about 32 physical books thoroughly read through and finished, 8 books that were stopped, giving me a grand total for this year of 35 books read. Not bad. I mean, providing looking back from last year, the first half of 2024, I really was in a reading slump, and I really struggled with being able to get back into reading. I just was kind of on this autopilot journey where I couldn't get into reading. I really couldn't. So, a lot of my reads from last year, because I finished 45 books last year, most of which were audiobooks, but it was all in the second half of 2024 when I finished these books. So compared to last year, the books that were physically on my shelf, I finished 10 overall last year. This year I've already finished about 28 books that were physically on my shelf. So that's actually really good. I take that as a win, even though I broke the cardinal rule of, hey, we're not buying any books right now, even though they may be free. But I didn't want to pass up losing the 3 vouchers, and then finding a really sweet deal on some of these fantasy books that I got, which I'll just briefly talk about which ones. So I got One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I got The Night and the Moth by the same author that did the Two Twisted Crowns series. And then I got Light Lark and the second book from Light Lark series by Astor is her last name. I also got Pet Cemetery by Stephen King. And then I also got A Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie. And then I got The Mists of Avalon and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is my sci-fi pick from that selection. But yeah, I mean, now that I've used my vouchers and now that I've gotten that out of my system, we could just keep moving forward. But yeah, so let's talk about the ones that I've already finished for 2025. Let's see here. So here are the titles of the books that I finished so far in 2025. Not a Happy Family, How to Stop Time, A Court of Thorns and Roses, The Handmaid's Tale, Sunrise on the Reaping, Do Not Disturb, House in the Bottom of a Lake, Angel of Greenwood, If We Were Villains, Middle of the Night, Horror Movie, A Court of Wings and Ruin, Warcross, The Wild Robot, The Exiles, 56 Days, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, The Art of Racing in the Rain, Hummingbird Salamander, Paranesi, The House Across the Lake, The Unmaking of June Farrow, The Book of Doors, How to Sell a Haunted House, Vita Nostra, Speak, Clockwork Angel, The In-Between Bookstore, Heavenbreaker, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Long Walk to Water, The Haunting of Hill House, Layer of Dreams, Water Moon, and A Song Below Water. Those are the titles. I will on my podcast website. I'll put the names and titles with the authors, so that if you guys are interested in any of these books, you can look them up and add them to your TBR pile. Not that I'm trying to entice you in any way, shape, or form if you're on a book buying ban, but maybe I could be a bad influence for you. But so far in 2025, because I use this amazing tracking app called Hardcover, they have this awesome stats tool where you can just put in the year or a custom like range, and it'll show you the books and then how many pages, and it's got this cool nifty like platform. Definitely recommend checking it out. And if you are on Hardcover, I would love to connect with you. So, but I've had 211 hours listened so far in 2025. I've had 11,279 pages read, because a lot of these books were really thick. I mean, some of them were pretty big. I know if we were villains, Sunrise on the Reaping, the Sarah J. Maas series, ACOTAR series, those were some beefy books as well. Normally, I'm very intimidated by like that large size book, but hey, whatever's working, I'm just gonna go with it. But yeah. So I mean, I'm very proud of myself on that front. I'm not very proud of myself for how many books were added to my TBR, because this is supposed to be about like making my physical list go away. But um but yeah, I mean, like in reality, like I still feel like I'm doing really well. Like the whole point is to motivate me to read. Like I had mentioned also too, I've been working on a bingo card. What I do is I'll like print out like a blank bingo card, and I'll write in the titles that I'm feeling eager to read that are on my TBR cart, and then a fun way to try and get bingo. So right now, like on my bingo card, I have obviously the Exiles done and Watermoon done. In that row, I still have Straight On Till Morning, Trust in the Emerald Sea, and Obsidian. But honestly, after finishing Watermoon, which there'll probably be a bonus episode talking about that more in depth, because I just have so much to say about that book. That book was so good. It actually kept me up last night. Like I was up until almost like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning finishing that book up, because I just could not put it down. But I'm gonna stop because like we're getting off tangent here. But I think like the next one that I'm gonna end up like picking up is either Phantasma or Damsel. I know that I'm listening on audiobook to An Arrow to the Moon by Emily XR Pan. I'm also listening to Small Angels, and that book is way too far away for me to read like who the author is, but it's got that light brown like color, and it just is not focusing for me right now. but but those are the physical books that like I'm going through right now. So 2 audiobooks, um, 2 possible physical books. Probably going to start on Damsel because that one's smaller, but I have been itching to pick up Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I've also been itching to pick up A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, just kind of switching it up a little bit. But honestly, I don't know. Whatever I end up going with, I'll update you guys and let you know. But I really think, like, honestly, this whole thing is smooth sailing so far. Yes, I got off tangent with purchasing more books, but it's all part of being a book hoarder, I guess. And like getting enticed by like booktube and stuff doesn't help the situation. So, but at the end of the day, I'm reading, I'm enjoying it, and I can't. So, um will I be adjusting anything into the second half of the year? I don't know. Because the way that I usually do like my reading goals for the year is I'll do 12 books specifically, one for each month for friends recommending me books. Whether I finish them or I love them, I do have that list. And then I have another list that I will tackle like for the entire year. Um, and then that is a contribution from the mini lists that I have for each month because I like to go off like themes and I like to mood read. So I like to kind of mix and match it. And I know it's probably like a crazy amount of lists, and it's probably why I'm in the situation I'm in. But all of that aside, it has worked for me into this year just because of looking at those stats and really making progress. So, I personally think that I will hit my 50 book goal, if not more. Um, who knows? Maybe I'll get into another reading slump, and then I'll do the same thing I did last year, where you know I'll only hit like 45 instead of 50. And honestly, I've never had a year where I've hit over 50 when it comes to like physical reading, not just like audiobooks and things like that. So, I don't know. But yeah, if you've had any of these titles on your list, I would love to connect with you guys. I have a Discord channel where I would love to discuss books with everybody out there. Thank you so much for all the support. I know that this podcast has been really building up traction. I know that my editing skills are not the greatest at the moment, but I'm learning and you guys are helping me, and I really appreciate it. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Progress made, lessons learned, and still plenty of pages left to turn from all these bookshelves and carts and lists that I have. I will do another check-in toward the end of the year. But in the meantime, I'd love to know how your summer reading's going. If you want to share with me in the comments, because I know if you're listening on YouTube, there is a comment section that we can chat on. I do read all the comments. I do look at all the stats, and I'm very happy that people are like tuning in because, like, honestly, when I first started, it was just like, okay, if no one ever like listens to this, it's fine. But now that I see that there's actually interest in this, it really makes me feel happy that I can contribute back. So thanks for spending time with me today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all your support. And as always, keep reading, keep dreaming, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Goodbye.